We are the students of Government City College. My name is Sania Begum.
Safura Siddiqa, Durga Sri,
Kaushik Kumar, Hariharan,
Vaishali.
Under the supervision of Ifatunisa Begum, our Jignasa student study project title is Buy Now Pay Later and its impact on spending behavior of Gen Z consumer. This topic examines how the easy credit access is influencing the spending psychology of digital generation. It is one of the most popular innovation which is called Buy Now Pay Later, which is commonly known as BNPL. This is a credit facility which allows consumers to purchase product immediately and pay for them later in small fixed installment, often without interest if paid on time. Now I would like to explain the evolution of payments. The payment system has been evolved from store-based installments to instant and BNPL services. Earlier approvals were slow and limited, then the credit card came but with a high interest. So later fintech companies introduced BNPL services. With the rapid growth of fintech companies and e-commerce, these BNPL services has been transforming the consumer habits. Now I would like to explain the growth and development of these BNPL services. Some of the companies offer BNPL services such as MobiKwik, ZestMoney, Paytm, SimplePay, and also shown the significant growth over the years. All over these companies transforming the rapid expansion to sustainable growth and profitability. Now I would like to explain the difference between the traditional generation and Gen Z. And traditional generation, you prefer to save first then buy, but whereas Gen Z, you preferred buy now pay later. Earlier purchases were slow. Earlier purchases were planned and careful, but now they are more impulsive and trend based. Traditional payment methods were cash and credit, but now Gen Z's use digital and BNPL services. The Gen Z earlier traditional generation used to take a debt as a burden, whereas traditional generation used BNPL services as a budgeting tool. Now further Safura will continue.
Now let me give you a brief upon the review of literature. Based on the previous studies in the year 2024 Reja and in the year 2025, Meena and Deepika found that BNPL reduces the psychological pain of payment by separating it into tiny installments. Whereas in the year 2025, Mr. Shah reported that Gen Zs often treat the installments of BNPL as budgeting tool rather than debts. Upon the research in the year 2024, Mr. Singh highlighted how BNPL platforms feature seamless checkouts, urgency queues often increases the consumer behavior. Now let me take you through the statement of the problem. We are currently witnessing a silent revolution in how my generation spends money. It is fast, it is digital, it is called as BNPL. While BNPL is marketed as a budgeting tool, a lifestyle hack, it is actually a psychological trigger. Let me repeat, it's a psychological trigger. Here the consumer stops seeing it as debt and starts seeing it as an affordability. The problem we identified is a critical research gap. Often at times the studies look towards the technological adoptions, consumer trends, but they ignore the long-term financial risks upon the Gen Zs. We have seen the literacy paradox, the debt traps effects, and we aim to explore the under-researched behavioral impact upon Gen Z consumers. Now Durga will continue.
Go.
Now coming to research objectives. 3A of BNPL among the Gen Z. 3A stands for analysis, awareness, adoption. Analysis. We did analyze to understand BNPL features Gen Z's behavior throughout the survey. Adoption. Do you know why Gen Zs are adopting BNPL a lot? Convenience. Convenience is a key demand for BNPL adoption. Additionally, flexibility and payment option. Awareness. We want to create awareness about BNPL to Gen Z. Second point, to examine the impulsive of PEOU. PEOU stands for Perceived Ease of Use. That means people are feeling easy to use this app. Easy payment reduces the hesitation. Due to the seamless hesitation, it also changes the consumer spending habit. Third point, comparing users and non-users of BNPL. We are comparing to know their monthly expenditure. One thing that BNPL users don't know that BNPL is a happiness with a limited lifeline. It works as a slow poison. Fourth point, to evaluate the relationship between financial literacy. BNPL is a slippery slope debt for Gen Z. Do you know why? They are still in the learning phase of financial literacy, overspending, and they are vulnerable. Debit accumulation throughout repeated uses of BNPL. Next slide, I want to explain about hypothesis. H1, increase impulsive buying. H2, reduce the pain of paying. H3, people with low financial literacy rate lead to the missing of payment. H4, the app is designed such a way aesthetically and conveniently, attracting BNPL a lot more than the interest rate. Next slide will be explained by the Kaushik.
Go.
Research and methodology. Area of the study. We have collected the data from Hyderabad district and other districts of Telangana state. We covered both urban and semi-urban areas. We have collected the data from 303 respondents. Here, let me go through the sources of data. We have collected the data from primary sources and secondary sources. Primary sources is mainly about 303 respondents where we collected from the questionnaire. And the secondary data we collected from the previous studies, articles, newspapers and magazines. When we go through the data analysis and exploration, first BNPL awareness and usage status. Here we can see that 55.40% of people are aware about the BNPL services and 44.60% are not at all aware about the BNPL services. However, only 17.80% are currently using BNPL services. When we go through the next slide, that is BNPL adoption. Here is an interesting fact that Amazon Pay Later and Flipkart Pay Later are leading the BNPL services through 31%, followed by Simple Pay 20.20%, Paytm Postpaid by 19.90%. Here, when we see the p-value, here the p-value is less than 0.001% because here the null hypothesis is getting rejected. According to null hypothesis, every platform should get an equal opportunity to compete in the market. But due to Amazon Pay Later and Flipkart Pay Later, it is getting rejected. So we are getting the p-value less than 0.001%. When we go to the reasons, the primary reason is the shortage of immediate funds, which is accounted to 36.30%. Discounts and cashback offers accounted to 33.33%. So when we go through the next slide, that is where the money goes and lifestyle and necessity. Here, the pie chart describes that the main objective of the BNPL adoption of the platforms are food and dining. Most of the people are using BNPL services for the food and dining in apps like Swiggy, Zomato, etc. Here, it is accounted to 34.7%, followed by electronics and gadgets 20.8%, fashion and apparels 19.8%, travel and commuting to 13.2%, groceries are accounted to 11.6%. Now, next slide will be explained by Hari.
Necessity versus lifestyle inflation. About 43.2% people use both equally, necessity and as well as lifestyle purchases. This shows BNPL use for both essential and non-essential spending. Missed payments, backup plans and reading debt. About 43.2% people have faced a missed payment at least one time. This shows there is a financial stress and primary reason is insufficient funds in bank. Financial literacy deficit indicators. People of BNPL users have faced a financial stress because they are unaware of lately fees about 39.3% and their credit score impact is 32.7%. This table shows the text we used in our BNPL study. Mostly the p-value is less than 0.05, which indicates significantly. And next slide we continue by Shara.
Go.
Now, coming to key findings and recommendations, first is who are Gen Zs? They are mostly students with 18 to 22 years old with monthly disposable income under 5,000, combining both female and males. Next is why are Gen Z using BNPL? Because of the highly convenience, no OTP, deferred payments, EMI splittings, and one-tap checkouts. It is so convenient for them. Now, coming to key findings, BNPL impulsive buying. BNPL drives impulsive buying with higher usage and monthly income spendings. Next is structural financial vulnerability. BNPL users reflect structural financial vulnerability rather than financial empowerment. Next is financial independence illusion. BNPL enables financial independence illusions where users believe themselves they are financially independent while relying on debts. Next is data privacy, literacy and financial literacy. BNPL user shows a major gap in financial and data privacy literacy. Next is measurable psychological harm. BNPL causes stress and anxiety among users for missed payments. Now coming to recommendations, policymakers should introduce strict disclosure income checks and redesign the entire app to show real-time debts, and for education, make financial and digital credit education compulsory for students and make clear researches and understanding BNPL real impacts. Now to conclude this study set out to investigate whether BNPL alter the spending behavior of Gen Z consumers in India. Based on the primary survey data from 303 respondents and validation through 7 distinct statistical tests, this study shows that BNPL does not facilitate purchasing. It restructures the entire financial architectures of how Gen Z spends and experience money.
Now I would like to explain the purpose of this project. BNPL services are more convenient and easy to use for Gen Z and often create impulse buying and hidden debt along with the low financial literacy and poor awareness of data privacy. This makes BNPL services more risky than empowering. Without proper safeguard platform, BNPL services has to control the data privacy, and this may encourage the young consumers to use the BNPL services without any struggle.
Thank you.